Hi everyone. Welcome to Monday Morning Quarterback, a weekly feature of Cannon Church. I'm Tim Emmett, the senior pastor at Cannon, and on Monday morning, I'm your quarterback. If you've watched previous episodes of Monday Morning Quarterback, or if you've listened to me preach, I'm sure you've wondered if I'll ever run out of stories about the Pittsburgh Steelers, stories that help me connect football with Jesus. Well, the answer is yes, of course, I will eventually run out of stories about the Steelers, but not yet. 1974. In the first round of the NFL draft, the Steelers selected wide receiver Lynn Swann. In the second round, they picked middle linebacker Jack Lambert. In the fourth round, they picked wide receiver John Stallworth. And in the fifth, center Mike Webster. Four Hall of Fame players in one NFL draft. No one has ever done that before. No one's ever done anything even close to that before. It was the greatest draft in NFL history. In fact, it's the greatest draft in sports history. No one has ever done anything even close to that. That draft was extraordinary. But you know, from another angle, it was absolutely ordinary. The Steelers were trying to do what every team does every year with the draft. They just want to get better. Bad teams want to become good teams want to become great teams want to become dynasties. Everyone wants to get better. That's why they have the draft. That's what they're looking for. This past Sunday, we finished our sermon series on awakening. When Christ calls us to rise, we heard the story of a man named Bartimaeus, a blind beggar. Jesus healed him of his blindness. But before Jesus healed him, he asked him, "What do you want me to do for you?" The answer seems obvious. And Bartimaeus said, "My teacher, that I may see." But the reason Bartimaeus wanted Jesus to heal his sight was so that Bartimaeus could then follow Jesus on the way. At the beginning of the story, he's beside the road. At the end of the story, he's on the road. He goes from watching Jesus walk by to following Jesus on the way. Here's the good news for us. Jesus is eager to remove whatever is keeping us from following him. Bartimaeus says, "Lord, that I may see," and Jesus heals his sight, and then Bartimaeus follows him on the way. Whatever is keeping you, whatever is keeping me from following Jesus more fully, more completely, more faithfully, Jesus is eager to get that out of the way so that we will be free to follow him on the way. That's the good news of Bartimaeus for us. Here's the game plan for this week. Get ready for the draft. You've got two choices in this draft, 2 picks, 2 selections. The first is this: define your win. Every NFL team, as I said, wants to get better. Bad teams want to become good teams, great teams, dynasties. Everyone wants to get better. You have to define what your win is. Do you want to go back to the past, back to the life that you lived before the pandemic, or forward to the future? The future as God wills it. We all have that choice to make. What's our win? Do we just want to go back, or do we want to go forward together with Jesus? That's the first pick, the first choice on your draft board. The second is this: what's next for you with Jesus? If you want to go forward to the future as God wills it, if you want to go forward into the kingdom that Christ died and was raised to bring, then you need to take your next step with Jesus. In Lent, we're going to be taking up the Red Letter Challenge, a 40-day journey with Jesus through his teaching, and there are 5 practices that are central to Jesus' life with him: being, forgiving, serving, giving, and going. Almost always our next step with Jesus is one of those 5 steps. For you, your next step could be being with Jesus, spending more time with Jesus in prayer and scripture every day. Or maybe you are being called to take your next step by forgiving someone or seeking out forgiveness from someone. For still others, it could be that your next step is serving. You need to do more to serve neighbors in need. In addition, it could be that for some of you, your next step is giving. You need to give more to the work of God in the world through the church. And then finally, it could be all about going. That could be your next step. Do what you do for the glory of God. At work, at home, in the neighborhood, be a witness to Jesus. Do what you do as if for the Lord. That's the game plan for this week. Get ready for the draft. Define your win, and then take your next step. I hope you have a great week.